So today our guest is BEBê. Thank you for being here today. When we will split you in groups, if you want to be in an only Italian speaking group, please write it on the chat to SEGNI d'Infanzia, private message, so that Anastasia, that is splitting us, can make an Italian group. Normally, otherwise, you will be in mixed group. Thank you, BEBê.
So finally, I have my chance here. Hey. Just mute your microphone. So hi, I am BEBê de SOARES, and I was really, when we started this call, very warm. I'm just feeling warm, seeing so many friends, old and new, and gradually the adrenaline. So I think the word now is adrenaline for me. My hands are cold. I'm getting nervous. I have some lampen-fever. So let's start. Otherwise, I'm leaving. Yeah, I'm gonna run away. So I am a creative producer from Amazonas Network. Make connections, international connections. First it was from Europe and Canada to Brazil. Then I became gradually the person talking about Latin America and looking for the place in the world for our cultural voice. And that's where I am now. I would like to talk today about the challenges of international work in the times post-corona. So I had two titles. I spoke to Cristina yesterday, so we could see how we were going to frame this. It will be a little bit different from the other two times I've seen, I think. So the first one was, I made some notes, just some phrases I'm listening and I'm reading. So one was, the future has been canceled. So, or my second option was, international is postponed indefinitely. So that it's pretty dramatic, you know. So me and Cristina, we came to a third title, which I thought it was really good, The Fever of the International TYA. So just to start, I would like to talk a little bit why Fita Chile was created. Fita Chile is a marketplace where we program, well, it's produced by Assitej Chile and Amazonas Network. And it is a marketplace where we curate Ibero-American shows that are ready to tour. So it's not a festival with the best of Latin America, but it's the work that we believe have a place in the international touring market. And we go out in the world inviting programmers to come to Chile. It was supposed to take place, the second edition, in 2019, November, in Santiago, the first week of November. And 10 days before, we had to cancel because of the social unrest in Chile. So I had already a vaccine when everybody started canceling. I had really seen this film. It is really a shock, and I don't desire this to my worst enemy. It is really very frustrating to see work for us. We had worked for 2 years to have this edition, and it was looking very exciting, and it was really, really shocking. Just like feeling that your work is just wasted. It was for nothing. And I'm a little bit afraid now. I have to confess, it's a very strange feeling, because every time we are talking about international, what's going to happen with companies or with festivals, you know, yes, of course, airports are not open, so we just don't think about it. We will just wait. And also international festivals saying, yes, we're going to program more nationally. And then companies that travel say, yeah, we're going to now concentrate on our national work. And this is really like very preoccupating. So what happened after, which I think in terms of innovation and in terms of something unheard of, after November, we were canceled, we were offered from iPay, which is another showcase, which is the showcase, we are like sisters. We mirror the dynamics of iPay to do Fita Chile. And they offered, it was fantastic, one day after the conference in Philadelphia. If you don't know, iPay is a showcase of international work, mainly for North American presenters, but it calls now for an international group of programmers and companies, so it's a fantastic place. And they offered us this one day, so we had Fita Chile at iPay. They offered us the whole logistics. They were incredibly generous. We had the whole, all the delegates that came from Fita Chile, they had a delegate package with full access. We managed to get some sponsoring from the Chilean government for the Chilean artists, which then reflects all the issues on mobility funds and all this discussion. And I think it was very, it was an exceptional opportunity. Of course, the artists, they had to pay for the part of the production to be there, so what iPay couldn't offer us for free. And then for me, the situation is now I have artists investing on going to marketplaces and everything is being canceled. And anyway, there is no market for the next 2 years, maybe internationally, with all the complicators. And so my biggest worry is the risk that all the companies always take. And now we see the precarity of our whole sector. And that's for every artist in Germany, as well as in Brazil or in Chile or in the States. Sorry, I'm kind of pessimistic here, but okay. So I would like to ask you that are here, and I see there are many partners from Amazonas Network, partner companies, and also some festivals that I'm speaking about, and that I have been connecting. My question is, which would be the suggestions and which are the strategies? Are you thinking about the international connections? How could we, maybe this is a chance for us to establish new way of connecting. There is more profound, not just, oh, I'm inviting here, I have so many different countries, and then people come and they play and they give a workshop, and maybe they come once more and that's it. You know, so we really, it always goes together with the sustainability discussion, the fair cooperation discussion. So all this comes together to imagine a new international collaboration. And that's my question to you, and that's what I wish we would discuss today, and we would want to listen from you, do some giant brainstorming, because if you forget for now, you know, there's one more complicator. Our next agenda time for Fita Chile is November 21. With everybody or most of the festivals from 2020 postponing to 2021, it is just not realistic that people, if they will travel, that we are not the priority for many festivals. So this means we need to have a budget, not only to help the companies, but to help the presenters also to come to Santiago. And, you know, I really would like to listen from you, or ask you to think about that, because the bridges we've been building for the last at least 5-6 years, they will not stay put if both sides don't work for it. You know, we have to give our hands and say, yes, we keep the bridge so everybody can pass. So that's...
Okay, BEBê, do you want maybe to tell us something more about how are you facing that? Because you told me that you had maybe a meeting with iPay, or from, I mean, which point of view are you trying to face that, or which kind of scenario are you figuring out about the future from your point?
We are at iPay, so we had a board meeting yesterday, and we are also planning and we are working the same way with several scenarios. Are we doing the conference as usual in January? Are we do it part online? Our company is going to travel? Is it going to be more national? You know, all these questions. But actually, the position of iPay is great for TYA, maybe the most important conference in the world, but very small in the context of arts fairs. So we have APAP, which is the conference in New York, 2 weeks before iPay, in January too. So I think, my personal opinion, we will see how APAP will decide if they are going to take place. Also, New York is very close to Philadelphia. So of course, the states are regionally as different as the countries in Europe. Depending on where you are, the crisis is bigger. And I cannot for this world think there will be a conference with 3,000 people in New York in January. I think it's impossible, and all the theaters have to be open. So, and many people come to APAP to go to iPay. So we don't know yet, but as you can imagine, I don't know SEGNI. There's nobody from Canada here to talk about that. In November, we should have SEGNI, which is another strong marketplace in Montreal. So Fita Chile, we are in a comfortable position, and between brackets, because we canceled. We had some dates to do it in 2020, a smaller version. The festival, FunFest, has been postponed to November, and it's going to be only national. So it's also not, anyway, we didn't think we could do it. So till November 2021, there's a lot of time to wait, you know, for decision. But I am thinking we need the delegates to come to Fita Chile, and I see the delegates are not coming even to iPay, you know, because so it is. We cannot really base what will happen in 2021 for what's happening in November, for what's happening in January.
Okay, so what you are putting on the floor is a problem that is connected with the market, let's say the international market, because those projects that you are presenting are connected with the possibility of having an international touring.
Yes.
So it is somehow, I mean, it is connected with what we discussed about the last Tuesday, about the connection between market and festival.
Yes, so that's just one thing I would like to clear my position, because sometimes it's not clear.
Because just to finish, if you want to go just a little bit deeper in this structure, because some of the people that are here knows about iPay, but maybe they doesn't know about the showcase impact or this.
Yes. So that, forgot. I wanted to talk about that. The difference between for a company, I will give a concrete example. For a company from Chile to be invited to a festival in Europe, when you invite an international company, usually you need the mobility funds. The countries like Canada and Holland and Belgium that offer, or Scotland, offer this kind of support. South Korea. These companies can travel. As a festival director, which I also have, I also work as a programmer for some directors for some festivals. it is really very easy. It makes it much easier if you have funds from the country you're inviting the company. This makes then obviously the countries like Brazil, who do not have any kind of funds that could compare with what Chile has, for instance, completely they are out of this festival most of the time, of the festival international sector. When you go to a showcase, and when you go to a showcase as a company, you book tours. So it's like 5 weeks in China, 8 days, 8 shows a week. You have a 40 performances contract. You don't care for these mobility funds. It doesn't matter if your country doesn't offer you the services for the cultural sector. So it is a matter of sustainability. We created Fita Chile to create the permanent structures so companies could sustain their work. And touring does that. To be invited for a festival, it fulfills another role for a company, in my opinion. And when you go to a market and you are touring in the States, or there are many models of touring, and this is what I was aware in the first time I went to IPA, and that's really something very interesting, especially for places who don't have mobility funds. So that's where I decided to put my energy, to create this market for, and I say South America and Latin America, but I could say Africa too. There are fantastic artists in Africa that we know nothing about it because of mobility funds.
The idea is to be the connection and to support the growing and the building of a network that in a certain way at national level, that means in Asia or in Africa, or can structure a network that can welcome artists, not for one shot,
yes,
but for more extended tour that can help the economy and the sustainability of the artists that are not
yes,
based on the fact that the state or the government is giving the transport fee for one travel, but reinforcing the fact that welcoming network can support an artist when he's hosted. Something
yes, like that. Yes, and I'm now that I've been back to Europe, because I came back last year from Chile after 9 years, and I'm really building, and this for me also crazy, because that's what I'm building now, and now everything stopped, so I have to wait. It's a platform called Capillar, which is a network. It is a platform for festivals, but also presenting venues to connect in a way that when a festival wants to invite a company from Santiago, and they already have this in their calendar, that all this network, and it's very similar to Chain Reaction, all this network, because not only festivals, but you need also the small links, which are the presenting theaters, to join in and program the same company. So this also goes with the ecological view of sustainability. And if you're going to bring somebody flying for 11 hours, you might as well do the most of it. So that's like taking a back seat, or should you take the front seat now? So that's also a challenge for my head, to combine the crisis of Corona and the crisis of the climate crisis.
Thank you, BEBê. So you have been putting on the table a lot of questions. One question that maybe we can discuss in our small group is this, that is, we have all those tools or networks, festival, platform. The main question will be, how can we relay on those tools and structures that we have been creating, knowing that they are functioning because we travel. How can we have a kind of bridge situation between traveling everywhere or not traveling, but holding the relation, holding on the bridge and reinforcing those bridges even by being far away, like we are doing today? This, from my point of view, is the question that we are sensed to ask ourselves. How, even if we are not allowed to travel, we are not allowed to come everybody to Taipei, how can we keep those bridges alive or functioning? So this is the question that we are going to ask ourselves in our small group. Before going to that, and before going to specific question to BEBê and moving, I will let the floor to Patricia Braga, that will give us a short point of view from Brazil. Patricia, I can't see you. Where are you?
Oh, I'm here. Okay, can you see me now?
Yes, no. Where are you?
Okay, I'm here. I think my...
Okay, Patricia, sorry.
Okay. Okay, thank you, BEBê, for your explanation. It's a pleasure to meet you. I must say, I'm not so much acquainted with the whole scenario in Chile. I know Santiago Amil quite well, but it's what we see here from Brazil. Well, I've been touring a lot. I worked first from 91 to 2007 with Ode Teatro from Eugenio Barba in Denmark. I was the tour manager there, and there I had one point of view. I was from one side of the balcony, as I used to say. I was touring, and I was touring quite a lot with Ode. After that, I came back to Brazil, and I opened an agency production, a producer agency. I had some groups that I tried actually to get funds to go abroad, to tour abroad, most of all. This didn't work quite well, as BEBê said. Brazil is not a country that support groups or companies to travel much. This is a big issue here concerning theater groups and companies and dance companies as well. I work mostly with theater. After that, I joined a festival, International Festival of Londrina, from where actually I started my professional life in, well, long time ago. And I became a collaborator with them for the last 6 years. And there we had the trouble of getting funds to bring people to Londrina and to present them, and especially that, not only 1 or 3 shows, but trying, let them touring in other cities in the region. That was quite difficult to do. Here in Brazil, people are not so, Brazil is very big, so it's quite difficult to make this network and really start, you know, give the companies more places to go. We tried very hard. The festival didn't succeed very well, and me and my partner, we have 2 actually, we actually left the festival last year after a very well succeed edition, because we wanted to go to another path. We wanted to make a festival where actually people could stay longer in the ways we used to do in the 80s. Like, we wanted people to come to our festival and stay 10, 12 days all together. Of course, this means much more money. This means logistics. This means that we rather have less groups in a more compact way. We made this project. We presented it to the culture minister. We were approved. We were about to launch it. We had actually sponsored to that. Then coronavirus came. In Brazil, as you know, it's starting. We are now getting to the high curve. not as in Italy, not as in Europe, that thanks God you are descending. We are now going up, and we have a president that doesn't respect anything. So we were very confused. We are very, you know, we are despaired, almost all of us. Things are canceled. Everything this year has been canceled. Nobody's going to do anything that requires traveling or gathering. We are you are all talking about traveling, but my greatest fear is how we are going to put people in the theater room. How we are going to make people sitting together without masks or without a fear that they are going to get infected. Okay, we hope for a vaccine. We all hope for a vaccine. But I cannot see that this is going to happen very soon. This is one of my greatest fear, actually. So what we did, we made many meetings with the people in Europe, people in the US, who could in some way think a new form of festival for us. Somebody spoke about, I think it was Olga from Russia that spoke about an online festival. Here in Brazil, and I guess all over the world, everybody's trying to do things online. We all know that theater requires people together to happen. I mean, it's nice to see a performance online. It's nice that we are talking online, but we are theater people. We like hugging each other. We like touching each other. So this is not going to be reality for a long time. But we have the need to do something. We need to do something. So we proposed a new form of theater, and we are still talking to some I see key people to invent a new form of making this festival, which before was in one way, and now we are trying to make, you are all going to be very shocked, but we are trying to make a film. We will try to make, divide the festival in three parts. We will pretend that things are going to be okay in December. We are going to diminish the number of groups we were like wanting to invite. Maybe if instead of being 12, we are counting on 3 or 4. Mostly street performers. And we are going to make a documentary of the whole work we are doing, all these talks we are having. We are even going to make contact between the groups, international groups, and the community. We want them to be inserted here in Brazil. We are going to have one person accompanying this and filming these talks, which will happen online. And we hope we are going to do something on air, I mean, outside, outdoors. We are hoping to do that because that we think it could happen.
Can you, Patricia, can you tell us just a little bit more about, because I'm sure that there will be question on it, about this form? You said that you splitted the festival in 3 parts.
In 3 parts.
3 different periods to make it smaller and to deal with it easiest. Is it okay?
Yes, yes. Because we are going to because of this tool, this documentary, now involving a woman from the cinema. Okay,
can you tell us more about this documentary? I mean, how did you do it?
This is what I'm going to do now. Okay. You have to understand everything is very new. We just month that we have been meeting every day, forming a group of people. Mario Biagini from Work Center and Thomas Richards Open Program, Pino Di Buduo from Potlush that makes the Invisible Cities. And in this concept of the Invisible Cities that Pino does, we are trying to make a route for the festival itself. The festival happens in Londrina. First, we would have Mario Biagini coming with his group and working with a community or 4 communities, Indians, Sin Terras, which are people that don't have land, so they are occupying a space, very poor people that are fighting very much to have a place to live, in fact. Black divers, which are a group of black people, black women, struggling also to survive. And another one that I don't recall now. They would go being together, living together with these people and exchanging their work, exchanging their songs, exchanging their food, exchanging their way of living for a week. So, okay, this is not happening anymore. So we put that apart. We call it a visit card now. So everything we do now actually is preparing for another festival. So we are planting seeds. Instead of doing exactly what we wanted before, now we are going to slow down and we are going to plant, to sow the earth. So maybe next year we are going to have flowers.
Okay, that means that those 4 artists will meet the community online? Did I understand?
Online.
Okay.
Online.
So this is
we are buying cell phones.
That is growing, but online. Instead of living together, they are meeting online.
Exactly. This part.
Those meetings. Okay.
So this we call visit card. It's a visit card.
Okay.
We're going to get to know each other. Of course, we have a person that is going to be there in Londrina at the spot, working with them, and there'll be a guy filming this, filming when they talk, filming when they show things, filming this interaction. This is one part. And all the doing of this is going to be documented as well. So we are going to show that at the end. At the same time, you're going to ask for international companies that you wished to bring here. One from Chile, one from Mexico, one from Colombia, and one from Uruguay. We didn't choose yet. I wrote to you, BEBê, so we can talk later. And if you, you can maybe advise us on what from Chile could we talk, people that have connection with this kind of work. We are choosing these 4 groups. We are going to make a conversation with them. We don't want them to show a performance online, but we want them to think about what they would like to do if they were here. This is one provocation, maybe. We're choosing provocations. We are now in the process of trying to ask ourselves what we wanted these people, what would be interesting for them as well, showing, if not here. We're pretending they are not coming in this second part. In the third part, they are here. And we hope they can be 1 from them, 2 from them. If it's possible to travel, very good. If it's not possible to travel, we are going to do big long shows online. We have prepared a place. We would have a place, which is a museum, open air museum in Londrina. We are going to have a Grand Bazaar. We are going to involve all the immigrants from the city, which is based on immigrants, actually. It's been grown since, Londrina is a very rich city. It has been built with Arabians, Indians, Italians, English, and I don't remember, Japanese. There's a huge Japanese community too. Okay. So we are going to involve all these communities to make a Grand Bazaar in December, 3 days, where they are going to cook, show their music, show their dance, show whatever they choose to show. We are going to invite, hopefully, Pino di Budo to make an Invisible City, which is not based in the Calvino's Invisible City. This time is going to be based in a book a guy from Londrina wrote called the Red Earth, because Londrina has red earth, which is very, very beautiful, actually. And everything happening outdoors. We are going to work with local artists, and we are going to show this documentary, these images in spots in town, and to recreate the loneliness of the coronavirus. We are going to put one artist dancing, one musician playing, just to show that this distance we have to be in. And in the end, all this is going to be a film that we're going to be giving to all the people that are participating. We are going to give them this film to be shown as they wish. So this is very roughly, of course, we are like writing right now this project. This is the way we arranged, we thought that we could do anything in this situation.
Thank you, Patricia, for going so deep in the structure of this project. I just have one question, please answer really shortly, which is the timeline of this idea? I mean, just give us in your idea, of course, it's a project, you are doing it.
Okay. On 10 days, I have to present that to a sponsor, which I hope is going to pay me for that. And from there, we are going to start working.
Okay, and the idea of the film is by
December.
Okay.
December, we are going to do these 3 days of Gran Baja.
First step is the visit card, December.
No. First step starts as soon as I get the money.
Okay, but the idea is to finish it in December.
To finish in December, yes.
Okay, and then the second step, artists coming.
No. The first step is like 10 days we make the project. We start doing this work.
Okay.
Paid. Nobody wants money actually at this point. But we start working with this visit card, filming and making all the approaches, and then
Final meeting in December.
Everything happens.
One artist, and then more artists if they can come join with more. Okay, thank you. So sorry for cutting, but we have a lot of.
No, it's okay. I'm sorry, I'm being very long.
Enough information, and of course you may write each other or speak together if you want more. We have 5 minutes. Maybe we have one question before the pause. Who wants to ask something? Otherwise, I have one thing I can launch. Was there any question? Okay. So I think that if you want, if we don't have specific question, I will reframe the small group work that we are going to do by telling this. That is one thing that was touching me. We will speak about problems or issues that will emerge by this impossibility of touring internationally, and we will reflect on which kind of solution we can try out and figure out. This example that you have done, Patricia, for example, for me is a kind of concrete solution. So what are you doing? What you are doing is trying not to focus on the fact that people cannot travel, but use digital to strengthen the relation between artists and communities.
Yes.
I think that this may be an interesting point of view, because we need to ask ourselves, which is the main goal of having artists traveling internationally?
Can I make a question?
Yes, just let me finish.
One thing which is very strong to me, do you believe that people are going to be closed in a theater very soon?
Okay, I will come to that. Yeah. So two level, that is, which is the need of having international artists, because this maybe can help us to be stronger in supporting this need if we are aware of which impact this has in our cultural system, and which is the need at the economical level, because there is also the market and not only the cultural exchange that is connected with this problem. So one is why hosting international artists against the national artists, I'm provoking, and which is the importance of having an international market and not only a national market. How can we use festival, platform, digital networking to reinforce these needs that we feel as important? And how festival can be one of the places in which we reinforce these needs and we launch new ideas, new project, new form to support international relation. I will add international cooperation. This is what we are supposed to discuss together in the groups. Just to answer to Patricia, in the past meeting, we have, this is the fourth meeting we have had, we have been discussing on the problem of being together in the same room with the audience reduced capacity, or with audience wearing masks, or with actors wearing masks on the same stage and whatever. Of course, we don't have any answer, but we will share the report of the past meeting. And of course, all the questions and the topics are connected. But what we are trying to face is a kind of discussion. This is a kind of recap for the people who were not with us in the past meeting. Normally I make a frame. I haven't done today, but it's nice to make it now. So we are asking ourselves a lot of questions. Of course, we are facing the biggest question mark of ever, I think, in our professional and human life. So the level of how can we open theater, and all these solutions are embedded, for example, in your solution, because you're saying we will have open air presentation. We are asking artists to change their relation. So these answers are, I mean, we can't face all the topics altogether. Today, we would love to face those questions from this point of view. That means why international, and how can we reinforce our international relation, and why we need to do that, and why we believe it's important to go on working together internationally, and why we need to keep open those bridges we have been taking years to build, and why we want it. Of course, the answer or the idea or the possibility of being together in the same room is embedded in the solution that we will figure out, and we are aware of that. Here, there are colleagues that have been doing, for example, Olga, she's been testing an internet festival, and of course, there are thousands of solutions that are not the solution, but it's kind of adjusting ourselves to this new phase, knowing that there is this time, that is the time of the lockdown, the time of the phase 2, that is a time in which we are not allowed to do things, and how we go through that river from one side to the other, and the time that will be the after, with the new normal that we don't know how it will be. This is the frame of our discussion I haven't done in the beginning. There is a question: what is the importance of international intercultural work with the point of view of the children? this is one of the questions that we will face in the small group. We are expecting to receive 6 reports from each one of you that have been chosen to make the report. You can send it to the email to me. That is the email that you received, from who you received the link to get in the Zoom meeting, so that we can fit it in the report of today, and we can see what have been discussed in the other 5 rooms we were not in. So if you put in the report also the name of the people that were discussing, it will be great. Now we just have time for keywords. Who wants to start? I know, I will do that. Group 1, easiest.
Who is group 1? I'm sorry, which group we are? 5.
You don't know which group? Okay, so this is not useful. So who wants to start?
I can start.
Okay, great.
Okay, how many keywords?
If you have a lot.
I have a lot. Okay, so slowing down.
Okay.
Slowing down inclusion, changing the market, new opportunities, audience connecting, clusters, and digital is a new venue. Okay?
You will have more information in the report. So I think it functions because it's triggering curiosity. So
yeah, it's nice. It's nice. I like it.
Who's going next?
So I can go here with group number 2.
Thank you, Bebe.
We have here some keywords that are key phrases.
Okay.
So which are the risks that we will be willing to take as artists, as producers? The need for advocacy on new ways of connecting to our audience with politicians and the mediators, the schools. We also had empty spaces and reconstructions, which we crowned with a quote of Peter Brook: "The empty space is what we need." So cannot top that. And the last one was the lost investment. Not only professional, the professional growth and the networking. So we have to think about the investment that we did the last years that could be lost. So these are our words.
Thank you. It's inspiring. Who's next?
I can go maybe with the group number 3. And our keywords and the little explanations are connecting, in the sense of using digital platforms to dialogue with colleagues. Another word is seeds for the future, in the sense of that these digital platforms are moments in which we can share ideas for the future. Another word is a quarantine festival, in the sense of use the 14 days of quarantine after the crossing the borders to do something together, to work together and produce something new. And to involve the audience, because our main goal now is to keep in touch with the audience and find a way to involve them. This is.
I hope that you will put more explanation about the quarantine festival in your report, because I see that we are curious about that. So look forward to read the report. Who's next?
I can go next. I was delegated to speak in the very last moment, so I did not prepare many like keywords, but I'll go with the few ones. International platform for programmers is one. Programmers as links to the audience is two.
Is there, since you were delegate and last minute, is there any one of your group that wants to add anything? So you were perfect.
Okay, Cristina, I can go. It's very fast. I was the group 1, probably, because I was in the room 1 with many people that I wrote up. And our keyword is to set rules for networking.
Set rules.
Rules.
Okay, maybe it's up to us. I don't know the number of our group. I really don't see it anywhere. I don't know.
Don't worry, don't worry.
Don't worry. Okay, we choose importance to tour internationally, and we speak also about the web tools to keep in touch. Keywords that are maybe sentences. Key sentences for us are slowing down, yes, that is connected with going deep to a project and not to produce and stay in the surface. So we have the time now to go in deep to the project, and process versus result. So we need to put the light to the process, artistic process, against the result. The first. The second is working internationally is a way to share different points of view. That for us is very important. The third, finding a balance between online and offline. So like Bruno said, rules to work on the web. The fourth, learn from this period to use new tools to keep in touch between artists and professionals. It can be ecological, so we are using now much more Zoom and so on than before the COVID emergency. And this is a good thing that we have to keep also after the end of this damn sanitary emergency, because it's a good thing. And the last, the quality of connection can be unfair, but the quality of connection can be unfair. We mean if you live in a place of the world in which you don't have a good connection. You can be cut off, and so this is unfair. That's all. Thank you. If someone of my group would add something, be free to.
Okay, it looks like keywords are effective more than the report, because just for the ones that join us today, we are struggling how to improve every time this meeting structure to make those 2.5 hours more effective as we can, and knowing that we would love somehow to stay together all day, but we have also other things to do. So we are definitely on time. If BEBê wants to have a final word or a comment, this is the come si dice?
This is the moment.
This is how we do it. And I remember you that you will find in the report all the information that you have been sharing. If you have something else that you want to share, like this is a project that is connected with the discussion, I would love to share that with you. Write me an email. We will collect every feedback or information until today midnight, because tomorrow we will share it with everybody.
Wow.
Thank you, BEBê.
So I just would like to finish with the comments, because I really thought about this space to talk about practicalities of being in the international TYA, but I really would like to stress the reasons why we do international, intercultural exchanges for children. It is important for tolerance, for empathy, against xenophobia, against nationalism. This is more than ever necessary, to see the other that is not like yourself, recognize something that can connect us. This is humanity. We need to go on connecting. Thank you so much for listening to me, being here, and please contact me for anything. Recipes on how to do a caipirinha, I can do that too.